Again, a very familiar gospel story, one that we probably don't even have to listen to. We could almost give it word for word ourselves. But maybe something we don't remember or something we forget is the context of the story. As the gospel says, first line, tax collectors and sinners came to listen, to hear Jesus. And then, when the scribes and Pharisees saw this, they began to complain that Jesus would hang out with those people, with these people. The Pharisees and scribes had a negative stereotype of sinners and tax collectors. They saw themselves as better than them, holier than thou, holier than thou. And this type of complaining, this type of stereotyping about a person or a group of people is what prompted Jesus to tell this story that we hear today. This entire story, this entire parable, the longest one that Jesus tells in the Gospels, can be summed up in the first few words of Jesus. A man had two sons. One son ran away, blew his inheritance, acted totally irresponsibly. The other son stayed home, budgeted his money, and did all he was asked to do. The two sons were as different as day and night. They had certainly much, much different personalities. But there's one thing that was common to them. They were brothers. They were family. A man had two sons. A father who loved his son. Both of them loved his sons no matter what. You know, in our world today, it's no secret that people look down on other people. People disdain one another. We hear it on the news. We probably hear it in our workplaces. We hear it, wherever. We hear about Republicans and Democrats. We hear about conservatives and liberals. We hear about Trump supporters and Trump haters. We hear about blacks and whites. We hear about undocumented immigrants and legal citizens. We hear about the rich and the poor. And the list goes on. And you can add to it. I would suggest to you that the Scriptures are asking us this weekend to maybe think about the person or the group that we see differently. And we all do. We know we do. Maybe even someone or some group that we complain about. Think about that. And the next time we start to complain, we start to gripe about that person or that group, imagine what Jesus would say to us. A man had two sons.